Marvel. Yeah, one of the most weirdest relationships I've ever had in my life. It's like having a side chick. You love the main chick, but the side chick sometimes gives you a good time. Now, I used to be a Marvel fan back in the day. Heck, I've watched every single one of their movies when I was a Marvel freak. I used to replay them every single goddamn time. But all of that changed when I watched Endgame. After Endgame, I was so hyped for the next year release of Endgame, and I loved it. And then clocked out after watching No Way Home, even though I saw their plans of making TV shows and more movies. I just never came back to it again until this year. I heard about Born Again, a Daredevil show, and when this came out, people said it was hot garbage. And being the little sheep I am, I held on to that opinion with every last drop of my being. Until recently, me and my brother decided to binge Daredevil the entire series, and at first I thought it was gonna end up in failure because of how much I heard Born Again being dog shit, but I listened to my brother, and he said to just keep an open mind. And thank God I did, because this shit was fire. Undisputed fire. My God. Okay, I blabbered enough about story time stuff. It's time for the big cheese, the review of this entire series. In under 10 minutes, because you can't handle 20 minutes, can you? Hey, don't cry. I didn't mean it. I still love you, bro. Don't cry. The story starts off in a very unique way, with the character being Matt Murdock praying for forgiveness. Not for what he has done, but what he's about to do, and beats the ever-living shit out of everyone in the next scene. And what I love in this episode is how everything is set up perfectly. The relationships of the characters, and of course the one thing I thought I never needed, a balanced life. This shit is what scares Peter Parker, because while he's struggling to pay his rent on time, Matt is already a full-time lawyer, probably the best in his field. And somehow, in some way, he actually manages to be a lawyer by day and a vigilante by night. And the funny thing is that both sides of his life are entertaining, because both of them are perfectly in line with the plot. Not a single lawyer scene deviates from the plot at all. And what I love is the fact that the episode just sets up everything from the jump. They don't waste time with Matt doing some stuff like finding a reason to being Daredevil and eventually getting his costume. Instead, he already has it, and because of the great performances, you don't really mind that much. And heck, it's explained later, and the way it's presented is the most natural and most human way I've ever seen. And I love how the action scenes are filmed like an actual fight. During this entire scene, you see Daredevil taking a minute to recover from his wound, then absolutely obliterates. Recovers again, and absolutely obliterates. And normally when a show has amazing action, then that's probably the best part of the show. But in this show, the plot and action are somehow both equal. That is something that should be seen as nearly impossible nowadays. But somehow, in some way, the writers smoke some sort of cocaine, because what the hell is this amazing writing? And this show does something that many Disney shows fail to do, and that's to make interesting characters that you actually care about. When Claire gets kidnapped to lure Daredevil out, you can feel the tension of the scene, because you know that the Russians are not fucking around. I mean, they were literally going to use a bat to torture her. And speaking of that episode, you cannot forget about the main man, Wilson Fisk. You know, back then, I always saw Fisk as a fat guy. I didn't get it. There was nothing really threatening about him. The first time I saw him was when I watched Amazing Spider-Man 2 gameplay, and I just thought of him as a guy that was kinda strong, and that was it. And heck, I couldn't even treat him seriously in the Spider-Man game because of Spider-Man's goofy nature. But in this show, it really captures how terrifying he could be. The first time you see him, you think, oh, he doesn't seem so bad. He just wants to not be alone. maybe he could be good. Oh my god, leave him alone, man, he's already dead! And just to give some context, he killed this man's brother simply because he didn't get any cheeks from the art lady. Wow. Just wow. And the devious part is, this isn't even his worst kill. Wilson Fisk is such an imposing villain. You can't even say his name without putting a target on your back. And it was so bad that a man had to kill himself because he said his name. I love the performance from Vincent D'Onofrio. I butchered that name. I am so sorry. He is so calm and so threatening at the same time. Who else can forget about his classic line that I will make a meme for centuries? I'm not here to threaten you, Mr. Yerk. I am here to kill you. With any other person, I would laugh at them each time I see them on the screen, but not Wilson Fisk. And oh my god, his voice is so addicting. During the show, any chance I got, I would always try to talk like him. And I love the fact that Foggy finds out about Matt's secret identity, and it's done in a way that's not like other media where they're like, oh my god, you're a superhero, or oh my god, you lied to me, how could you? In this episode, you could really feel the emotion that Foggy feels. Everything he knew about Matt is just flipped upside down. He's not even sure if he knows him anymore. And the more Matt tells him about him, the more hurt he becomes. It even goes to the point where he questions if their friendship was even real, because Matt could just tell if someone is lying or not. He believed that Matt and him could fix the law and use it in the right way to put the right people behind bars. But he can't even believe that Matt wants it that way anymore because of how he depicts the law as just being corrupt and interchangeable. And he thinks the only way to fix it is to go out every night and put his life in danger to save lives, not considering that he is hurting his friends in the process. And even when they have their little get-together, the effects of Matt's secret is still present in Season 2, and my god, the suit near the end of Season 1 was fire. It's everything that makes Daredevil, Daredevil. The final battle I feel like needed a little more oomph, but it was still awesome. Season 1 was a perfect interpretation of the character. The next one can't possibly be...
No, they... him... It's one man.
When the best outside, let me shoot every day. When the best outside, let me shoot every day. When the stars align, let me shoot every day. When I take this home, let me shoot all day.
You want you die! You think you can play a Punisher, ain't that right? You big bad Punisher. You crazy shit.
When the best outside, let me shoot every day. When the best outside, let me shoot every day.
Yup, it don't even matter. This season has the big bad Punisher. Here he is, looking magnificent. I swear to God, I thought all this brutality that happened was because of Bullseye. I was hoping to see Bullseye and got something equally as good. His introduction alone made me hype. He is inside a hospital, with no mask by the way, hunting down his target. And he would have died if Daredevil didn't step in. And let's be honest, Matt would have died if Frank wasn't, you know, Frank. And you already know Frank is a real threat because Daredevil's armor, which is bulletproof by the way, got destroyed by Frank's one bullet from a pistol. And the interactions between Daredevil and Punisher are so good, it feels more like a battle between ideologies. It really reminded me of Invincible with the ideology of Cecil and Mark, but this is way better and it's not even close. And of course they had that perfect adaptation where Daredevil was either gonna save a criminal by killing Frank, or Frank is gonna do it himself. And they did it so well that I think the show did it better. And I love the seeds that Season 1 and 2 plant for Matt's despair, but we'll talk about that later. Season 2 gets a 10 out of 10. Oh, I can't have a great season, can I? Why the fuck are you here? I hate you. When you died, I celebrated. I even started a pool party. But you know how it works around here. Because of her, Season 2 gets a 9.5 out of 10. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules around here. He does. Now, this season is undeniably the best season. It's not even debatable at this point. Everything from the beginning of the show all the way to the end makes it so much better. And I know this is also connected to the Defenders show, but I'm not watching that shit. And to be fair, you don't even need to watch Defenders to get the story of Season 3. You might have a little tiny bit of context, but that's about it. In the beginning, we see a destroyed Matt. He has lost faith in everything and is cutting ties to everything. His faith, his friends, and at times his own moral code. When you look back at Season 1 all the way to this line, it hits so much more harder. At this point, Matt is completely out of hope. He's practically deaf. He is so injured that he can't even move properly, and even then, he wants to get back out there and save people. But Matt, I love the dedication, but please stop. You can't hear me, can you? At this moment of the story, it focuses on Matt's friends, the FBI investigation on a drug gang, using the information given by Wilson Fisk, and yeah, those are all masterfully crafted story points, but I love the introduction to Bullseye. His development is so delicious. Instead of Bullseye being a crazy guy who wants to kill Daredevil, he is instead a broken man with a terrible childhood. And I also love him because of the adaptation of Bullseye framing Daredevil. And who can forget when Daredevil went to the Catholic Church and beat his ass? Oh my god, the combos were so disgusting. You already know he prayed for forgiveness after this. Now I can talk about how good Season 3 is, but we would be here forever. I just want to talk about the best scene in Season 3, where Daredevil fundamentally beat Wilson Fisk. Fisk is at a point where he accepts his death, and Matt is about to take the kill, but because of the tears of Wilson's crying wife, he stops. This one scene is such a good representation on how Matt feels, because at this point he has abandoned everything. His faith, his moral code, his own friends, and he knows that killing him will go against everything he believes in. And Fisk outright tells him to kill him before he goes after his loved ones, until Matt shuts him down, telling him that he will go back to prison for the rest of his miserable life, and remember that the city beat him. He beat him. Now, I feel like I don't do the line justice. If you're already at this point in the video, you already know how hard it is, and after watching Peak, you would think this show would come to a close. Nope, we still got one last one, baby. Now, I'm gonna be honest, how do I cover this show? Daredevil is known as one of the best Marvel shows, and as soon as Born Again comes out, everything turns to shit. I've never seen this much hate towards a property since She-Hulk. Everybody was in an outburst, and for a while my opinion for Season 4 was basically not even my own opinion, and after watching Born Again, do I think that this show is as bad as people say? No. Do I think it's the weakest season? Yes. And let me start off with the first complaint. Foggy. You knew I was gonna talk about him and the way he went out. I watched the beginning stages of the show and I was like, damn, it looks fire. The lighting is like the show, but it has a great vibe to it. And the editing, my god, the editing. I'm about to be horny each time Matt uses his powers. It has this effect that feels so good. And also, Foggy got shot. I was in disbelief and also was praising the show at the same time. Look at this action scene. This gotta be the best action scene I've ever seen. The camera moves around so fluently. The fight is amazing. My god, Foggy, yeah. Holy shit, this is amazing. Foggy. Please don't die, man. Not like this, man. Yeah, that's right, man. Let the devil out. Make him feel fear. Yeah, as much as I was weirdly going off and on about the fight scene and Foggy dying at the same time, I couldn't really hate the show for doing this because, at one hand, Foggy died at the beginning of the goddamn show. But that action scene, though. After going against his code, he doesn't become Daredevil again because Bullseye could have died from that balcony he threw him down. And to be honest, there's really not that many juicy things to talk about. Yeah, the whole Kingpin plotline was cool and all, but you also had a villain that was introduced and could have been more, but they killed him off anyway. And you also have Matt just being Matt, and it would have been good if there was more to go off of, but Matt is just most of the time being depressed that Foggy died, or, you know, thinking about being Daredevil. And I really thought that in maybe the third episode he would be Daredevil again, because what was the point of this scene of him practicing with his, like, batons if he wasn't going to be Daredevil? Oh, and I can't forget this season single-handedly kind of ruining the whole ending part of Season 3 where Daredevil beat Fisk. But in this season, it kind of feels like it doesn't matter because Fisk has Vanessa. He has the public on his side again and just goes back to doing what he did in Season 3, which was controlling the city like he usually does. And I did like the last few episodes because it built up to something that is now a two-parter. I don't have much to say about this season other than it gets a generous 7.5 out of 10, while the other seasons dwarf this one tenfold. And yes, I am aware that Season 2 and 3 are in production, and if you enjoyed my little Daredevil review, I really hope you enjoy these videos and give them a chance, because what type of dude would I be if I didn't go on my word? Anyways, like and subscribe, and that's all I wanted to say. Bye.